Something's happening, but you don't know what it is. Do you, Mr. Jones? So you may not know exactly what's going on, but you know you can feel it in the air. You know that something isn't right. There's a disruption in the force. And for the last while now, me along with a lot of other YouTubers, but me in the hot rod car space, have been trying to warn people, trying to make people aware that things aren't right. We're heading into really weird economic times, and it's time to really start getting your stuff together to get through this. And I keep saying that things are weird and they're going to get weirder. And what I want to show you today is a perfect example of that. What I mean by that. So I'm here in a dealership zone. I'm in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I'm 25 miles south of Nashville. Murfreesboro is about as I used to joke with people when I first moved here, is that this place is like the middle of the middle class. It's what's left of the middle class, and this is like ground zero for it. Restaurants used to use this city as like a training ground. At one point we had more restaurant seats than we had permanent residents, because every chain had a store here, and this is where they would try new items and techniques and so on and so forth. Because if it worked in Murfreesboro, it was going to work every place else, and if it didn't, forget it. So I'm in this area here that's got several dealerships. There's a Honda dealer across from me. I'm sitting behind me is a Buick, Chevy, Cadillac dealer. There's a Mazda dealer that way. And in this city, we've got a few others. We've got a Nissan dealer, a Dodge dealer. We're gonna drive around. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive around. I'm gonna show you what's going on. Because if it's happening here, it's happening everywhere. So to put this in context, this is the last week of September, and there's like 100+ year history in this country of this period of time being like, this is when the dealers are at their max. Okay, this is when dealerships are like, they're rolling out the red carpets. They've got sales, they've got events, they're trying to blow out last year's inventory, whatever's left over from last year's inventory, and get the new cars in. So you've got this time of the year, specifically the end of September, early October, the dealerships are maxed out. They've got balloons, and they've got flags and banners, and they do cookouts, and the front rows in front of the showrooms are always poofed and polished. They put their nicest looking cars out there, flags on them, salesmen are walking around. I mean, you know the picture, you've seen it time and time again. And there's a lot of traffic. There's tons of traffic because people looking for bargains are coming in to scoop up what's being offered from last year's, from the leftovers. And then the people who are excited about the new models, they're coming in and they're perusing around. This is it. The last week of September, first week of October, this is maximum excitement time for the dealerships. It's always been this way, up until 3 years ago. And we all know what happened 3 years ago, right? 2018, 2019, as far as I know, see, I didn't notice anything unusual 2018, 2019. But then we had the events of 2020, and you had chip shortages and supply chain shortages and all of that stuff. And it was understandable that the 2021 model year kind of came and went without any sort of fanfare. 2022, even less. And now here we are, 2023 going into 2024. So again, this period of time, traditionally, for 100 years back, has been everything just maxed out at the dealerships. This is the time of the year. This is their Christmas. This is what they live for. So what I want to do is I want to drive you around and I want to show you what's going on at these dealerships. Let's look at the front lines, the areas in front of the showroom, the most important, where the eyes go, the most important areas on the grounds. Let's see what they look like. Okay, so we're at the Honda store, and there's the area, there's the showroom, the main showroom, and we got some empty spaces, and we have something with the back window blown out, a Nissan, a Land Rover. Here's road frontage. This is where you should be seeing all of the new cars or the leftovers that they're trying to blow out. And there's a Ford. What the hell is that? It's a, I don't even know what that is, but it doesn't belong in the front row of a Honda dealer at this time of the year. So here's the showroom, and the showroom has one vehicle in it, two vehicles inside the showroom. And we have a, okay, here's a new Honda. It's a Hyundai. We got some used vehicles. A Lexus. Another Lexus. Mercedes. I'm seeing a bunch of used cars. Now, you know, every dealership has its used car center, and this is not it. The area that I'm showing you right now, there's a couple of new ones, a couple of new ridge lines. Oh no, it's not ridge lines. What are those? I don't even know what those are. So now just so we understand, the area that I just drove through is the new car area. This is the used car section on this side. So the reason I'm showing you this is because the used car section is identical to the new car section in terms of what's available. Okay, so that's the Honda dealer. Let's go across the street to the Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick place. Okay, so here's a Chevy dealer. And again now, here's the showroom. Okay, there's the main showroom. And here's the front line. And this is where you're going to expect to find all of your new cars and all of the leftovers that they're blowing out to make room for the new inventory. And we see empty spots, and we see a landscaping truck, and we see a Dodge pickup, and we see a Mercedes with some front end damage. There's a couple of used Jimmy trucks. There's a used Altima. Now look where I am right now. I go right across. Okay, that's the main showroom. We got, okay, that's like a customer's car. There's an empty spot right in front of the showroom. This is what a new car dealer looks like on what should be the busiest week of the year. It might as well be a used car lot. So this is Cadillac, Chevy, Buick, GMC. Okay. Now right over here we Mazda dealer. Okay, so that's Honda and the big GM nameplates. So surely Mazda must be doing a little bit better, right? So here's the Mazda store. Okay, and let's see. It's the service department. And here's their showroom. Okay. And what do we have here? We got a new Miata. We got a couple of nice new Mazdas sitting up front, but what do we have here? Okay. So that's guest parking, reserved parking, and here's their here's their front line. So I got a Subaru, a Kia, another Subaru, a Honda, and a Mustang Ease. A lot of used cars, used Mazdas. Toyota, the Tahoe. Wow, they still have those things around, huh? Okay, this is what should be. Look at this. This is what should be loaded with new cars, all polished and poofed. And the leftovers getting ready to sell. Nope. It's a used car lot. This Mazda dealership is a used car lot. Alright, so let's take a ride across town and see how things are doing over at the Nissan dealer. So around here, Nissan is a very important brand. The main North American plant is about 10 miles up the road in Smyrna. It employs about 8,000 people, so there's about 8,000 households in the general area that rely on Nissan. So I expect Nissan to have a few more new cars than the other places do. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. So there's a showroom. And they've got a fairly good assortment here. The spots directly in front of the showroom are empty, or just used for regular parking. Okay, that's customer parking right here. And that's their used car section. So yeah, they've got a pretty good assortment of cars. Especially if you want a Rogue. Lots and lots of Rogues. Some Armadas. And to be honest with you, it looks like they've spread this out a little bit. You notice there are no parking, there's no parking lines on the ground here. And they've got, we're looking at 1, 2, and 3 rows of cars. This should be deeper. They're missing probably a full line. A full line, I'm gonna say. Not nearly as bad as the other brands, but still definitely not up to capacity. How about the Dodge Jeep dealer? Let's go take a look at those guys. So we're at the Jeep store, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and it kind of looks more like a used car lot. Again, we got a lot of used. A lot of used cars. Bunch of used Jeeps. Like, this is not what a new car dealership looks like the last week of September, first week of October. Lots and lots of used cars. Subaru. So what exactly is going on here? We've been to several dealers, different brands, domestic and import, and we see the same basic thing. There's inventory, but the inventory is extremely light. The areas in front of the showroom that are typically, you know, that's where you put your nicest models, the prestige things, the stuff that draws traffic, eyes. That's a term that dealerships use for cars that have that appeal, the curb appeal, a car that has eyes. And those are almost always parked directly in front of the showroom, or especially on the front line. You're not seeing that. You're not seeing the groomed, you know, usually the front lines of these dealerships, especially this time of the year, they take extra care. All of the cars are clean, all of the cars are lined up perfectly, everything is uniform, and it's not like that. And in fact, right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm looking across the street at the front of the Dodge dealer, and there's a red plastic sign, you know, the Dodge letters, and they're faded. I mean, very faded. And that's not normal. And I noticed that at a bunch of these places. The signs are a little faded, looking a little shabby. And traditionally, new car dealers go out of their way to keep their grounds and the buildings and everything in like beautiful, pristine shape, because you want to put your best foot forward. You're trying to get people to come in and make the second biggest investment they're going to make, you know, aside from their house. You want to give them the impression that this is like, you know, the Crystal Palace. And it's not like that. It's not like that. The front lines are disorganized. It's a mix of new and used cars. The inventory, there's some inventory, but nowhere near what you would expect. And the Nissan dealer is the perfect example of that. This time of the year, I would expect that dealership to be just absolutely jammed with cars. They have inventory, but it's spread out. You know, where they would have 4 or 5 rows deep, they've got 3 rows deep. Something is wrong. Something is broken. If you look at what's happening with these dealerships, they're shabby. They're looking weak. Where the U.S. auto industry goes, the U.S. economy goes. You know, at one point, the auto industry was the biggest industry in the United States. It's not like that anymore. Now it's pharmaceuticals and healthcare. Go figure, right? But it doesn't change the fact that America runs on cars. Personal transportation is the most important aspect of American culture, American life. You don't have to be a car person. You could hate cars, but you still have to acknowledge the fact that everything we do in this country, every place we live, every place we work, where we go to school, where we get our food, everything is connected by roads and accessed via personal transportation. So when you see the new car dealerships looking shabby, looking light, it's not right. It's showing you that things are broken. What's broken? I don't know. There's a lot of factors. There's a lot of things. People got their stimmies a couple of years ago and they overspent. So right now, car repos are through the roof. A lot of banks are not making car loans. It's getting harder and harder to get a car loan. Interest rates are through the roof. There's a lot of factors. What does it mean? I can't tell you specifically, but I can tell you this is the direction. This is how things are headed. I don't see them turning around anytime soon. I only see them getting worse. As these car dealerships go, it goes the U.S. economy. Really start paying attention, guys. Things are happening. I'll see you tomorrow.